Good morning, third grade. Miss Trainor here with an activity about Earth Day. Yesterday was Earth Day, and you've been reading about Earth Day and watching videos about Earth Day all week, so this is a really fun activity to wrap it up. So we're going to get started with some true-false statements, and we're going to see if you can think of the right answers. So as a reminder, something that's true is something that is real, and something that is false is something that is not real. Now, let's get started. What do you think, true or false? With the garbage we produce in America, we could form a line of garbage trucks and reach the moon. If you thought that this was false, you're actually wrong. This is true. Can you believe it? That is a lot of trash. What do you think? Americans use enough plastic cups, forks, and spoons in 1 year to circle the earth 300 times. It's actually true. That's a lot of plastic. That's why, like in my classroom, we try to use metal forks and spoons and reuse them instead of throwing them out. What do you think? We use about 20 trees worth of paper in our lifetime. This is actually false. Each American uses about 465 trees worth of paper in their lifetime. That sounds like a whole forest. If we recycled that paper, all those trees wouldn't need to be cut down. What do you think? Every year, Americans waste enough food to fill an entire football stadium. If you thought this was false, you're correct. It's not every year, but every day that Americans waste enough food to fill an entire football stadium. That's why it's so important to take only the amount of food that you plan on eating, especially at lunch, and then putting what you know you're not going to eat on the share table. Plastic is the only thing we can recycle. If you thought that this is false, you're correct. This is false. We can recycle lots of different things. Try to think of some. We can recycle paper, glass, metal, clothes. There are lots of things that we can recycle. Okay, so now we're going to look at some vocab cards. This word is reduce, and reduce means to use less and not waste. You can reduce by turning off the water while you're washing dishes or brushing your teeth. Reuse means to use something over and over again, like you could use a glass cup instead of a plastic cup. Recycle means to use materials from old items to make something new, like recycled newspaper can be turned into egg cartons, or a recycled water bottle can be turned into a planter. Conserve means to save and use carefully. You can conserve energy by turning off lights when you leave rooms. Pollution is when gas, smoke, and trash make the air, water, and land dirty. Protect, to keep safe from harm. We can protect our earth by reducing, reusing, and recycling. And habitat, the home of a plant or animal. So we are going to read a little story now called Don't Be a Litter Monster by Lindsay Custer. This is the litter monster. He eats everything in sight. He thrives on trash and pollution, and he never turns off the light. He would rather drive than walk, and he buys way more than he needs. The litter monster thinks it's a way of life, but really it's just greed. and greed means like taking more than you need. Excuse me, I say. Why is it that you don't care? Don't you see what you're doing down here and up there? You see, litter monster, I used to be just like you. I used to be wasteful and want everything brand new. Until one day, all of the pollution caused a cough that would not go away. I tried to take medicine, but I still coughed night and day. It all changed when I learned about the 3 very special R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. They're not really that hard. The first R is reduce, which means to use less and not waste, like turning off the water after you've squirted out your toothpaste. The second R is reuse, which means to use something over and over, rather than throwing it out. Reusing items will make the earth a cleaner place without a doubt. The third R is recycle, which means to use materials from old items to make something new, like recycling bottles, cans, and newspaper. It's very easy to do. The little girl begged, "Will you please, litter monster, give those 3 special R's a try? With your help there will be less pollution in the sky." The litter monster sat and listened to what the little girl had to say. Then he stood and shouted, "I will change my ways today." After that, the little girl and the litter monster became dear friends. They'll follow the 3 R's until the very end. I hope that you learned something new about littering in that little story. So now we're going to do one more activity in the video, and we're going to look at some actions that different kids take and decide if they are helpful actions or harmful actions. Let's start with Pat. Meet Pat. Pat eats a candy bar and then throws his plastic wrapper on the ground, even though the trash can is only a few feet away. Do you think Pat's actions are helpful for the earth or harmful to the earth? If you said harmful, you're right. Meet Ava. Ava turns off the water while brushing her teeth. "I don't want to waste any water," Ava says. If you chose that Ava was helpful, you're correct. Meet Ella. Ella washes her hands and then dries them with 15 paper towel sheets. "Paper towels don't come from trees. Who cares if I'm wasteful?" Ella said. Do you think she's being helpful or harmful? If you said harmful, you're correct. That's using a lot of paper towels, and they do come from trees. Meet John. John uses both the front and back of his paper. He doesn't want any paper to go to waste. That's right. John is being helpful. Meet Neil. Neil refills his water bottle when it's empty instead of throwing it away. Is Neil being helpful or harmful? That's right. Neil's being helpful by reusing that water bottle. Meet Mia. Mia puts her plastic bottles and cans from her lunchbox in the recycling bin. Mia's being helpful. Even though she's bringing plastic bottles and cans to school, she's making sure to get rid of them in the right way. Meet Greg. Greg leaves all of the lights on in his house. That's right, Greg is being harmful. Don't be like Greg. Meet Bree. Bree goes around and picks up trash that she finds on the ground. That's right, Bree is being helpful to the earth. And our last 2. Meet Wes. Wes rides his bike with his family to the park instead of driving. Wes is being helpful. By not driving, he's helping his family cut down on pollution. Meet Tara. Tara always throws paper, bottles, and cans into the trash can, even though there is a recycling bin close by. Don't be fooled by Kara's cute flower and pretty dress. Tara is being harmful to the earth. Okay, now we have done a whole lot of reading and learning about Earth Day this week. This paper, you obviously, unless you have a printer, you can't print it out, but you could draw something like this on your own paper and draw one way that you can help the earth. You could write 3 things that you can recycle. You could write how you can keep the earth clean and why you're thankful for the earth. And then I would love for you to take a picture of that and hand it in through Class Dojo. Boys and girls, it was wonderful getting to talk to you today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.